accelerate community transformation and sustainability, called IC Impacts, that involve IIT Roorkee, IIT Delhi and Bombay from India, and universities of Toronto, universities of Alberta, and University of British Columbia from Canada. This is bidding for a very large sum of money, both in India and abroad, in Canada. In the last 8 months, we have received 17 new disclosures for filing of patents, out of which 2 have already been filed. This activity will be boosted over the next year. The Institute has 369 highly qualified faculty members, 9 emeritus fellows, and 17 scientific and other staff. In first part of our selection process this year, we have made offers to 24 very high caliber young prospective faculty members, of whom 13 have joined already and 9 will be joining very soon. This is a phenomenal success rate for any IIT, 22 out of 24, and I'm sure the other 2 will also join us. This shows that IIT Roorkee is seen as a faculty-friendly institution. For faculty joining the institute, we offer a faculty initiation grant from our research earnings to a limit of rupees 10 lakhs against a valid research proposal. This year, we have sanctioned 13 projects with a total outlay of rupees 41.1 lakhs. Now I'd like to give you a brief overview of our infrastructure augmentation and certain achievements over the past year. There is significant augmentation of the central facilities and equipment for research and training in the Institute Instrumentation Center and the Institute Computer Center over the last year. The Information Superhighway Center has augmented the land and gateway facilities for us. They've also purchased a load balance software which increases the reliability of the availability of the internet. Virtual classrooms have been developed under the Knowledge Network initiative of NIC under MHRD and are currently operational. We need an NKN hub at Saharanpur campus for a truly campus-independent curriculum. Building infrastructure in Roorkee and Greater Noida Phase 1 campus have been completed, while 21 faculty residents at Saharanpur campus are still under construction. The sewerage system and treatment plants and stormwater drainage systems are being constructed for both Roorkee and Saharanpur campuses, and a multi-activity center is coming up on Roorkee campus, which should be completed this year. The Mahatma Gandhi Central Library has finished 60% of its RFID tagging of resources. It's also augmented the e-books and journals, which is a vital resource for research. An anti-plagiarism software is being purchased to ensure that all documents prepared at IIT Roorkee do not violate copyright. This is a step towards zero tolerance for plagiarism, a major scourge in academia. The library has won the prestigious ILA LM Pandya Best University Library Award this year. A word about our alumni. Mr. R.K. Tyagi, 1975 ENC, has taken over as Chairman HAL this year. He's our DA from 2010. Mr. Amit Singhal, 1989 Computer Science, a Senior VP and Google Fellow in charge of Google Search, has been elected member of the National Academy of Engineering USA. This is a very rare distinction, as only 2,206 foreign members have ever been elected to NAE. Many more organizations in India, both in the public and private sectors, are headed by our alumni. This is uniquely IIT Roorkee, where most of our alumni have contributed significantly to the growth in India. Let me end my report by talking about 2 social initiatives at IIT Roorkee, sir. Anushruti. This is a school for deaf children on campus where dedicated teachers, with the help from faculty and our alumni, are able to help these beautiful special children. There is another initiative called Asmita. This is a women's welfare center where destitute women are helped to teach, they're taught certain vocational aspects so that they can earn their livelihood. I end by congratulating all the recipients of degrees and winners of awards and medals for their achievements. We trust that your stay at the Institute would have prepared you well to lead intellectually and emotionally rich lives. Always keep in touch with your alma mater. At this time, many of you will find your thoughts turning to your career and its progression. We are confident that you will continue the process of lifelong learning and take up challenging careers to be amongst the leaders of science and technology. Never forget the lessons that you have learned here: discipline, integrity, and empathy with people, and optimal use of resources. I, on behalf of the entire community of IIT Roorkee, offer you our best wishes for success in all your future endeavors. Jai Hind. Mr. Chairman, sir, I request you to deliver your address.
Thank you, Professor Banerjee, for a very succinct and interesting coverage of the scope and breadth and width of our activities here at IIT Roorkee. I'm also heartened to note the numbers you quoted about the gender mix, and I hope we'll see a time soon enough where we won't even have to refer to that mix. Honorable Shri Kapil Sibal Ji, Union Minister for HRD and Information and Telecom, Professor Govardhan Mehta, Shri Charles Correa, Professor Pradipta Banerjee, Director of our Institute, guests, distinguished alumni, degree recipients, member of our Board of Governors, the Senate, faculty members, students, staffs, and friends from the media. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome and greet you all on the auspicious occasion of this annual convocation at our institute. This is the second convocation that I am attending as the Chairman of the Board of Governors, and I'm extremely happy to congratulate and greet all the students who will be receiving their degrees today. A very, very warm welcome to Shri Kapil Sibal, our chief guest for today. I've known Mr. Sibal for many years, and to me, he is a symbol of the modern-day human being with qualities of head and heart, a politician and a senior minister that one wants to see in its government. As you may know, he currently wears 4 professional hats as Telecom Minister, Education Minister, MP from a Delhi constituency, as also a senior Congress leader from its think tank. Some call him a man in a hurry, which personally I feel is a welcome moniker for a cabinet minister with such important portfolios. Please consider and share some of his achievements. Since taking on the mantle of the Education Ministry and in his dual capacity as Telecom Minister, Mr. Sibal has tried to bring about some radical changes in the form of, for example, implementing the new continuous and comprehensive evaluation system for class 9 and 10 to improve the quality and standard of education, and making the class 10 board examinations optional, approving and setting up of various new IITs, bringing computing to grassroots by introducing low-cost computing cum access device, Akash, at a cost of about 2,260 rupees. Mr. Sibal has also introduced reforms in higher education by piloting several legislation to overhaul the regulatory structure, also bringing about the right to education, making free elementary education the right of every child in our country, which of course sits at the grassroots of any growth and development that we wish to happen for India. Is reviewed all deemed to be universities, launched 3G services, developed and approved the National Telecom Policy for 2012, and of those who are interested in this sector, only this morning we have seen the announcement of the new spectrum policy, which has been much awaited by the telecom industry. Also launched the countrywide launch of mobile number portability, launching wireless broadband scheme to provide wireless broadband coverage to about 5 lakh villages, articulated the party's position through the course of negotiations on the Indo-US nuclear deal, and led the first Indian expedition to the Arctic and set up an Indian research station, Himadri, there in about 3.5 years ago. So in his pursuit as the Honorable Minister, he may have also ended up in some controversies. Since we are sitting at an IIT, you are perhaps familiar with them. Personally, I support the Minister's initiative because when we went to school, school was only 11 years. School is now 12 years. So in a sense, a part of our school lives now, particularly in the last year to 2 years, is equivalent to being in the first year or so of college. So today's +2 students are intelligent enough and worldly wise to take the pressure of performing in their exams. And in that sense, a bridge has been built between the school-ending education and pursuit of going into university or undergraduate in education. So therefore, it is not an additional burden, and some of the pressure of the joint entrance exam coaching classes is being shifted actually to the regular schooling process, which I believe is very welcome. So we welcome that initiative, sir. Thank you. On to some important announcements for today. It is our honor to be conferring an honorary doctorate on Shri Charles Correa and Professor Govardhan Mehta. Shri Charles Correa is an acclaimed architect who uses the mixture of aesthetics with prevailing resources, energy, and climate to create marvels of contemporary architecture. His architectural footprints can be seen in different climes and continents of the world and in different parts of our own country. He is truly a living legend. You're welcome, sir. Professor Govardhan Mehta is a shining star of organic chemistry. He is the representative face of organic chemistry from India and the world, and is recognized by the leading sciences, societies, and academics of the world, including the British Royal Society. He is an academician of the highest order and an imaginative and creative administrator. You are very welcome, sir. By conferring on Shri Correa and Professor Govardhan Mehta an honorary causa Doctorate of Science, the Institute is honoring and recognizing two great sons of this soil, and what better inspiration for all the graduating class here. The first thing that comes to mind is the clear attempt being made to ensure a strong emergence of IIT Roorkee as a hub of R&D and a rise in the overall industry orientation. I say this as this year we saw the signing of research and academic collaboration MOUs with the University of British Columbia and the University of Alberta, and operationalization of existing MOUs with the York University in Toronto. Over the last few months, there have been an increase of 25% of number of sponsored research projects and consultancies submitted within IIT Roorkee, and of course, an upgradation of teaching and research laboratories alongside. IIT Roorkee is unique. No IIT in this country has the benefit of 3 campus sites, Roorkee, Saharanpur, and 10 acres of pristine land in Greater Noida. It is our endeavor, sir, that we use our second and third locations not to just replicate or duplicate what we do on this campus, and as you know, we are about 7,000 strong here, but to create centers of excellence in Saharanpur and Greater Noida, which could stretch from healthcare engineering. This is a newfound expression of where we can combine healthcare sciences and engineering to create a new stream of graduates. Could be urban development, which is a much needed specialty in the country. Could be areas of packaging, because in Saharanpur, we already are ahead in polymer sciences and paper, as Professor Banerjee pointed out. So we will be using the infrastructure we have here and in the other 2 campus sites to create a distinction of sorts for IIT to stand out amongst the fraternity of IITs in the country. We will also play a critical R&D role with the government panel bidding for a Canadian $15 million project from the Canadian government for a proposed Indo-Canadian Centre for Innovative Multidisciplinary Partnerships to accelerated community